There are subtle tremors that only a sensitive heart can catch. Tremors that cannot be heard by the ear, that escape even the clearest cameras, yet feel so overwhelmingly real. A stream of emotion that flows quietly between two souls, never spoken, never declared, yet undeniably present. And if you've ever watched Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan closely enough, then you already know, what flows between them is far more than simple friendship. They speak in a language only they understand. A language carried in silence, in small gestures, in the way their eyes meet briefly and then look away, as if afraid to reveal too much. Their every interaction is like a quiet dance, subtle, hesitant, but filled with meaning. Amid the dazzling lights, camera flashes, and waves of applause, there's a quiet world they share. A warm, gentle world untouched by the falseness of show business. Wang Yibo, known for his stoic, composed demeanor, changes when he is near Xiao Zhan. Not because he wants to, but because he no longer can hold up the walls he's built around himself. The face usually sculpted in stillness softens. His smiles come easier, and his eyes, they seem to have found home. Xiao Zhan is the one who melts the fog around Yibo and brings out the gentler, more human side of him. It's not just once or twice we've seen Yibo tilt his head ever so slightly when Zhan speaks, like a child immersed in a beloved fairy tale. Not to charm, but because every word from Zhan seems like a melody he wants to remember forever. And when Zhan laughs, Yibo turns, no matter what else is happening. As if the entire world fades into quiet, leaving only one source of gravity that pulls him gently in. Their movements are small, a brief touch on the arm, hands brushing by accident but lingering just a moment too long, a shoulder leaning closer during shared laughter. But each of these movements carries something deeper than mere comfort, something carefully tucked away, yet always peeking through, in the softened gaze, in the way they shift toward one another as if drawn by instinct, not thought. When Zhan is nervous or uncertain, Yibo always reacts first. With subtle but certain movements, he steps closer. Sometimes it's just standing a little nearer. Sometimes it's a silent glance that says, "I'm here." No words are spoken, no dramatic embraces. And yet, that is where the depth of their bond lies, in the simplicity, in the silence brimming with meaning. Someone once said, "True love is when someone's presence alone brings you peace." And in Yibo's eyes, Zhan is peace. He doesn't have to be anyone else. He doesn't have to hide the tender, vulnerable parts of himself. Around Zhan, Yibo melts, not because he is weak, but because he has found a place to be whole. In so many moments, behind the scenes, in interviews, even when seated silently side by side, there is an aura that cannot be faked. The cameras may record them, but they cannot fully grasp the quiet current between them. And fans, those who watch with their hearts, know this is not a show. It's not a script. It's something far more honest and deep than any writer could pen. Wang Yibo isn't the type to open up easily. He was raised in a world where expression meant vulnerability, and distance meant protection. But Xiao Zhan is the exception. Around Zhan, his body language softens. He reaches out more. He laughs more. He simply becomes himself. Nothing is forced. Nothing is exaggerated. Just two souls discovering each other in the stillness that speaks volumes. When their eyes meet, there's respect, admiration, and something more, something unspoken but undeniably felt. A gaze that calms. A look that asks for nothing but is always present. In the noise, in the crowd, Yibo always looks for Zhan. Not with urgency, but with a quiet presence. As if he knows, as long as Zhan is there, everything will be okay. And Zhan seems to understand that. He accepts Yibo with all his silence, with all his restrained ways of showing love. He doesn't demand sweet words. He doesn't need public declarations. Because he knows, in a world so quick to fake emotion, a love unspoken is the purest kind. He reads Yibo's heart through the smallest things, how he stands just a little closer, how he protects with a glance, how he smiles only for him. There are no grand scenes. No fiery dramas. Just warm silences, steady attention, and a presence that never fails. In a world that measures love in confessions and labels, they choose to remain quiet. But in that quiet, they speak louder than anyone. Because their love needs no stage. No words. Yibo shows his love in the way he yields. In the way he waits. In the way he smiles, even quietly. And Zhan answers in the way he stays. In the way he understands without asking. In the way he smiles back, as if to say, I know. To the world, they may be nothing more than colleagues. Just two actors who once shared a drama. But to those who see with their hearts, they are an unfinished story. A story that needs no ending, because every interaction is already proof. True love doesn't always arrive with words. Sometimes it's just in how someone looks at you when you're not watching. And maybe, that's enough. Because when someone so guarded can melt in front of only one person. When a body that usually withdraws now leans in. When eyes that are always sharp soften for one smile. That is where love lives. A love unannounced, unclaimed, unexplained, just there, quietly, deeply, and perhaps, that is the truest form of love.